Samuel Johnson, often called Dr. Johnson, was an English writer who made lasting contributions as a poet, playwright, essayist, moralist, critic, biographer, editor, and lexicographer. Samuel Johnson's Dictionary of the English Language, first published in 1755, was a monumental achievement in the history of lexicography. One of the key features of the dictionary was its use of standardized English spelling, which helped to establish a uniform standard of the written English. Johnson's dictionary aimed to provide a definitive guide to English spelling and took great care of ensure that the spelling used in the dictionary was consistent and based on set of rules. Johnson's approach to spelling was based on the principles of etymology, which means that he looked to the origins of words to determine their correct spelling. He believed that by tracing the history of the word, it was possible to establish correct spelling and meaning. As a result, Johnson's dictionary included many words that had not previously been recorded in any dictionary.
So this is the Library of Congress that was established in 1802. On January 26, 1802, President Thomas Jefferson approved the first legislation that defined the rule and functions of the new institutions. So the Library of Congress is the nation's oldest federal cultural institutions and serve as the research arm of Congress. So the primary function of the Library of Congress is to serve the Congress. In addition, the library provides service to government agencies, other libraries, scholars, and the general public. And this is the invention of the carbon arc lamp in 1802. So British chemist Humphrey Davy is created with inventing the arc lamp. In 1809, he connected two wires to a battery and used charcoal strips as electrodes. This created a sufficiently intense light for illumination, and Davy's arc lamp became a popular component of his public lectures. So in a carbon arc lamp, the electrodes are carbon rods in the air. To ignite the lamp, the rods are touched together, thus allowing a relatively low voltage to strike the arc. The rods are then slowly drawn apart, and electric current hits and maintains an arc across the graph. So the carbon arc lamp was first used to street and factory lighting due to its extreme brightness, which could easily flood a large area. So it was used in early film production but proved to be dangerous to the actors. The arc lamp was used as a projector light source for some times.
Persistence of vision, also referred to as retinal persistence. Physicist Peter Mark Roget first described the effect and offered a persistence of vision definition in the 19th century. He explained that the human retina can retain an image for a split second before another replaces it. Persistence of vision traditionally refers to the optical illusion that occurs when visual perception of an object does not cease for some time after the rays of light proceeding from it have ceased to enter the eye. The illusion has also been described as retinal persistence, persistence of impression, simply persistence, and other variation. A very commonly given example of the phenomenon is the apparent fairy trail of a glowing coal or burning stick while it is whirled around in the dark. Many explanations of the illusion actually seem to describe either positive after images or motion blur. Persistence of vision can also be understood to mean the same as flicker fusion, the effect that vision seems to persist continuously when the light that enters the eyes is interrupted with short and regular intervals.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Rizmark Riliera, and I'm here to introduce the first viable design for a digital computer. The name of the first digital computer is ENIAC. Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer was the first programmable electronic general. purpose digital computer completed in 1945. There were other computers that had combination of these features, but the ENIAC had all of them in one package. The use of the first digital computer used to integrate ballistic equation and to calculate the trajectories of naval shells. And the first computer was invented by Charles Babbage in 1822, but was not built until 1991. And these computers made off with more than 17,000 vacuum tubes and 70,000 resistors, 10,000 capacitors, 6,000 switches, and 1,500 relays. It was easily the most complex electronic system. Therefore, built ENIAC ran continuously, in part to extend tube life, generating 174 kilowatts of heat, and this requiring it was on air conditioning system. And these are the example of the first viable design for a digital computer.
What is Ada Lovelace best known for? It turns out that long before the first computer was invented, Lovelace had come up with an idea of a computer language. Lovelace died on November 10, 1852, more than 100 years ago before her notes were rediscovered. But because of her advanced way of thinking, she is often considered the first computer programmer. Lady Augusta Ada Lovelace is known as the first computer programmer because she was the person who suggested Charles Babbage to use binary number system in his analytical engine and operated it for the first time. In 1843, Ada Lovelace became the first person to publish what we call now a computer program, a set of instructions to calculate Bernoulli's number written for Charles Babbage and the analytical engine. And the analytical engine worked because it was programmable using punch cards, an idea borrowed from the jackyard loom used for weaving complex patterns in textiles. The engine had a store where numbers and intermediate results could be held, and a separate mill where the arithmetic processing was performed.
This is a telegraph. It is invented on 1837 in Great Britain and United States. New York University professor Samuel Morse began working on this version of the telegraph in 1832. He developed in 1835, and by 1838, he had presented his concept to the U.S. Congress. As if I would invent this telegraph at this era. Where this telegraph is very useful and very important at the time, because this telegraph is a device for transmitting and receiving messages over long distance, for telegraphy. That is why this telegraph is very unique at that time.
By definition, a motion picture is a series of pictures projected onto a screen, creating the illusion of movement. By the 1800s, humans had discovered photography, projection, and motion. We just hadn't put them together. Then, a guy called Edward Muybridge changed everything. He set up 24 cameras
linked to tripwires to take photographs of a horse galloping. He developed and later projected the images onto a screen using his invention, the zooparascope. The result was 2 seconds of movie history. Here it is, the first motion picture ever made.